Yes. Now, print parent guardian's name, home phone comment, signature of the parent. Yes. I'm the signature of the parent, aren't I? Yes. And since you didn't have not only the jurisdiction of the state, yes, or the federal government to dissolve the United Nations marriage certificate, right? And you didn't serve me, did you, Sheriff? Pooh. Now, I have a big question is why the Sheriff's Department didn't take it upon themselves, yes, to make sure that I would have gotten a copy of the dissolution of marriage. You couldn't find me. You didn't know who I was. Well, you called me on the telephone in 2013 and served me Squim Sheriff's Department. Yes. And for some reason, this court order of a dissolution of marriage, Judge Rohr, yes, there were no conditions of the issuance of it that the respondent had to be served. Exactly what does it say? Because the way that I see it, yes, as the chief executive of the county, yes, there are general duties of the sheriff's office, yes. There's the execution of warrants delivered for the purpose by other public officers, according to the provisions of particular statutes. Yes. There are the execution of the process and orders of the courts of justice and judicial officers. Yes. Could you tell me why my wife didn't have the sheriff serve me? Well, you served me at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road numerous times. Yes. You did know that I was residing there until December 20th of 2012. Yes. You could have went there and asked Mike, well, do you know what happened to Paul? Poop. Well, we turned the electricity off on him in the middle of winter, and he told us that he went to his grandmother's house. Yes. Does anybody know where Grandma Condit lived? King County Sheriff's Department. You issued a dissolution of marriage on February 11th of 2000, yes, 12, 13, yeah. And for some reason, no one had any idea where I was at. Poop. And then you allowed for my wife to take custody of my sons, yes, knowing that I was residing at my grandmother's house because both my Uncle Wayne and my Aunt Lori went there and kicked me out. Now, since they both did know where I was at, how can you have any excuse for the sheriff's department right now? Auburn Police Department. Oh, you did not want to do your general duty as a sheriff's department, yes, to execute the process known as a dissolution of marriage, right? So I couldn't appeal the decision of the courts. Well, I was at my grandmother's house for Christmas of 2012. That's where my Uncle Wayne and Aunt Lori went to kick me out. It just so happened they kicked me out after you issued the dissolution of marriage. Well, it seems that my whole family did know where I was at. And you don't shall attend the sessions of the courts of record held within the county and obey their lawful orders or directions of all the documents that you served me. Pooch. When you put it in publication in 2013, yes. When you say you mailed it and you didn't, yes. And when you called me on the telephone, Sheriff's Department, it did violate and is considered the hate crime of harassment, yes. To put it in publication, and say that you mailed it, yes. And serve the person personal. Now, who was it in 2015, yes, that said they made two attempts of service and then you issued a 10-year protection order? Sheriff. All of you have been violating the lawful orders or directions, yes, of the courts. Now, you can't put it in publication and mailing and then decide to call the individual. Yes, yes. You just can't do it. Once it was put in publication in the Squim Gazette, yes, it was. You could not make personal service after it was put in publication. See, the RCWs are very specific that you have to attempt at least 2 times with what it is very, 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 very serious. See, I told you this, Pope, that when you put it in publication, you could not personally serve me. Well, that's what it says. You called me to harass me. Yes. The court has jurisdiction of the parties, the minors, and the subject matter. Yeah. Respondent had reasonable notice and opportunity to be heard. Notice of this hearing was served on the respondent by publication pursuant to court order. Service by mail pursuant to court order. Yes. You cannot do personal service after it's put in publication. I gotta talk to you, Sheriff. Who was it decided, yes, that you were going to commit the crime of hate? When you decided that you were going to call me on my cell phone? Yes. I do have the phone call. You want me to plug the phone in? Because I'm sure that I can get it for you. In fact, I probably will. Now, motion hearing, yes. Let's see here. Sheriff's return of service, sheriff's return of service. Notice of hearing, sheriff's return of service. Order issuing temporary protection order. Proof of mailing, July 22nd, 2013. Yes. And then return of service. Undeliverable mail. Oh. Sheriff's return of service, 8/21 of 2013. Can you do all three now? Sheriff. RCWs. Yes. Let's see here. Page 104. Yes. Clerk will file original copy. Please check with the county clerk. Yes. And then it says court finds based. The law requires the order to say if the respondent received notice of the hearing. And by what method? Since the judge needs to verify that service complied with court rules timely and proper, the judge will probably complete this portion for you. Now, it actually says, right, what method? You put it in publication. You can't